I'm nervous.
It's okay. Hello everyone, sono qui con la mia amica Ashley. Allora, la mia amica Ashley è mia amica da tanti anni e lei era prima mia studentessa, quindi la conosco abbastanza bene e è molto legata all'Italia e oggi siamo tutte e due per coincidenza a Palermo. Cioè io non l'ho mai vista due volte nella stessa città. Let's start. So, Ashley, where are you from?
I'm from California, but I currently live in New York.
California and New York. You've been to Italy many times. Where have you been so far?
I've been to Rome, Napoli, Bari, Puglia, Matera, and now Palermo.
Why do you love Italy so much?
I love the people, the food, the culture. It's easy to get around since I like to travel solo and I can speak some Italian. It's very easy for me to get by.
Also, you lived for some time in Italy. Tell me about that.
About a year and a half ago, I spent the winter in Napoli in a small town, not too small, but maybe 45 minutes outside of Napoli called Villarica. It was definitely an experience to say the least. As an American living there, there are not any other really Americans in that small town, so I kind of had to get around. I had to use the Italian that I know, but it was definitely a complete different experience for me.
They were not speaking English to you ever?
No.
What about at restaurants?
If you go to like Napoli, the center, in the restaurants, they speak English there, but outside of the city, no, not even at restaurants.
And you were not living in Napoli. You were in this like small town outside of Napoli. So tell me about your biggest culture shocks.
The driving.
Ooh, Napoli is extreme. It's already like a culture shock in general, Italy, US, but Napoli, I mean, that's whew.
Of course, I didn't drive, but I did get driven around quite a bit. It was just like crazy to see. I don't know how to explain it, but like it was just really crazy because in America, like obviously, you know, we stop at stop signs, we're very cautious, but in Napoli you just kind of go. But I did notice that no one crashes.
Yeah, they have different rules and if you follow the rules, that's dangerous.
Exactly.
Ragazzi, interrompo un minuto il video per parlarvi dell'importanza dell'inglese. Conoscere bene l'inglese ti permette di rimuovere le barriere tra te e il resto del mondo. Anche solo questa intervista non sarebbe stata davvero possibile, o almeno non così, senza la conoscenza dell'inglese. Per questo vi ricordo che su Cambly è possibile fare pratica e migliorare il vostro inglese. È adatto a tutti i livelli, quindi non vi preoccupate se siete beginners o se siete già advanced e volete solamente migliorare. Cambly è una piattaforma di e-learning che è disponibile sia sul cellulare che sul computer, dove potete fare pratica di conversazione con insegnanti in madrelingua. Super comoda perché è disponibile 365 giorni l'anno, 24 ore su 24 e tu puoi scegliere il tuo tutor e puoi scegliere l'ora in cui preferisci fare lezione. Ad ottobre con il mio codice sconto che è Candy50 off avrete il 50% di sconto sui piani annuali. Questo fa sì che se già Cambly ha dei prezzi imbattibili rispetto a scuole di inglese tradizionali, con il 50% di sconto sui piani annuali le lezioni sono davvero accessibili a tutti. Ci sarà ovviamente la possibilità di fare una lezione di prova prima di acquistare l'abbonamento annuale. Io ragazzi l'ho usato e lo uso, mi ci trovo molto bene. La cosa che mi piace è che puoi scegliere l'insegnante più adatto a te per il tuo tipo di obiettivo, che può essere magari business English o magari solamente fare conversazione così tra amici. Scegli l'accento che più ti piace. A me piace l'accento americano, ma potete benissimo andare con UK o Australian o altri, ed è super comodo perché puoi fare lezione davvero dove vuoi, cioè anche nell'ora di pausa in ufficio sul cellulare. 50% di sconto ragazzi, potete fare la lezione di prova prima di acquistare l'abbonamento. Let's go back to the video.
What about the people?
In my opinion, in my experience in Napoli, like Neapolitans are very friendly. They're very colorful, very loud. I loved it.
Do you have some friends there?
I do.
Did you speak English or Italian with them?
Both. Mostly English, but I did try to speak Italian while I was there. And then my friend or friends, they would kind of push me like at the restaurants, you know, to speak in Italian.
I feel like the biggest, I don't know how to explain that, but if I think about the suburbs, a small village around Napoli, a town, and the US, I feel like life is way easier in the US.
Yes. It is. Because, well, I feel like in the US, we just can have everything at the touch of our fingertips, you know? Actually, one shock for me was getting around because in Napoli, there's no Uber.
Yeah. We have Uber in Rome.
In Rome. So to get around, you have to either walk or like take the bus. But like in the US, everything is just very easy for us to get to to order something.
It's different, like California from New York. Like in New York, you were telling me you take the train, but in California, you were driving all the time.
In California, we don't really have a great transit system, so we drive everywhere. But living in New York, we have a great transit system, so you're mostly taking the subway or the buses or just walking, which is kind of similar to Naples because they have the metro.
Yeah,
the
they
subway.
do.
So I was already used to that, but someone from California without that experience, it would be more of a shock for them.
What about the food?
Pizza.
Oh yeah, you were telling me you only had pizza for like months.
My favorite food is Neapolitan style pizza. So while I was there, I had to get it as much as possible. But also, they're known for pasta e patate.
Pasta e patate, buona pasta e patate, buona.
A lot of like, you know, one of my favorite snacks is, I was telling Sonia, is taralli. So I had a lot of like little snacks.
Did you miss American food?
That's a great question. Sometimes I do miss American food because the way I eat is very plain, like chicken and vegetables. Like I missed like food that I was cooking, but not specifically food in America, because I mean the food here is great.
I have a different question, but because we were talking about like food, so I thought about family. You spent some time with an Italian family. Do you feel like there's a difference between Italian families and American families?
Yes, but I think that's also like a fully loaded question because in America it's just so diverse. You know, we have so many like Italian families or families that have been in America for, you know, like 50, 60 years. So I would say if you're comparing like an Italian family to like an American family that's been in the USA since the 1900s, I feel a huge difference. You know, in my opinion, Italian families are just more warm and welcoming and relaxed.
I don't know. I feel like Italian families are very present, so it can be a good thing. You also feel the pressure of like having to do what they say a little bit more. I don't know, there's a big decision. You might be 40, but your parents have a...
That's true. Like American families, everyone acts like very independently.
Yeah.
When here, if a decision is made, the family is very, very involved. And I've actually noticed this too with families in America that come from like Italian parents. Mm-hmm. They bring the same kind of culture.
It can be a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because Italian families help you a lot. Of course, this is generalization. It depends on the family, but usually you need anything, your family's there. American families, like they want you to be more independent, but then with the Italian family, you feel that pressure. With the American family, it's like, oh, I'm my own being, so I can do whatever I want.
No, I totally agree. And like that provoked a thought about how like with Italian families, I think it's also more traditional that you live with them longer.
Yeah, yes.
You know, like American families are like, okay, 17, 18, like go, you're on your own. But Italian families, like they want you to stay home, or they don't want you to move across the country. They want you to live down the street.
Okay, 18 for most people in Italy is like you're a kid. Even after that, if you don't have a reason to move out, like for example, your university is in a different city, or you want to move in with your boyfriend, it's like, why are you leaving me? Don't you like my food? In America, it's like, why are you here? You are an adult now. Go,
get out of
live your
house.
life. What was something that you were missing about America when you were in Italy for a long time?
Honestly, for me, I just missed like being really independent and driving my car. I missed that. I also missed like, I can't say like I missed like a certain scenery or like a certain food, but just the independence of having my own car.
Because you were in a weird situation where you didn't speak the language fluently. You didn't have your car. You were far from a big city.
Exactly. And actually, like just being able to communicate like in my native language and get my thoughts across, that's what I miss most, especially in Naples because they speak more Neapolitan than they do actually in Italian. So that was another hurdle that I ran into.
And it's so frustrating sometimes because you're like, I'm actually funny. I'm funny. I experienced that in Japanese because I'm not like as fluent as I wish I was. And I'm like, I think about a funny joke, but I'm not fast enough at translating. And I'm like, oh, I missed the chance.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. Or even like if someone in Italian says like a joke and I don't understand it.
And everybody's laughing and you're like... I'm
Yeah.
usually a fun person to be around. So, opposite question. When you're in the US, what's something you miss about Italy?
I miss the food. I miss the scenery. I really miss like the relaxed lifestyle. I honestly, when I'm like back in America, I honestly miss everything.
Yeah, you
here.
always come back. You said like, oh, relaxed lifestyle. Do you feel like in America people work more?
Yes. I love our work ethic, but we live to work. Our life mostly revolves around working.
Maybe you might be watching this and thinking like, Italians work a lot. Yeah, it's true, we work a lot, but let me tell you, like, I know this girl, I've known her for a long time. She works so much. I'm a workaholic. She works more than me. Like, she works so much.
It's just like a different kind of culture, you know, and I know like something that I love about Italy or Europe in general is, I think in August, is it Ferie?
Yeah.
Where you just take the month off to really like enjoy the summer.
Not for me, because I'm an independent worker, but usually it's true. Like, Italians work to live. If our lives were all about working, we wouldn't be happy.
And that's something that always stood out to me, is that you see people like enjoying themselves like at an aperitivo after work and getting together with friends, which we also do that in the USA, especially where I live in New York. But it was just something that really stood out to me being here for quite some time. I think that you guys take it a little bit more like serious.
I agree. Also, I have a weird question, but I know you know a lot of Italian Americans.
Yes.
What can you tell me about the Italian American culture in the US? Because I know it's interesting and it's a little bit different. It's not like Italian culture, but a lot of people, maybe they're like fourth generation, but they feel like they're fully Italian.
Yes. I love Italian American culture. I think there's two sides. There's some people that kind of like exaggerate it, you know, a little bit. But in New York, there's also a lot of people that really just want, like, their parents or grandparents, you know, are born in Italy. So they're not considered Italian, but they're also not considered like fully American in our eyes. So they really bring like the Italian American culture with like Italian food, but also not saying that they're fully Italian, because we know that we put an American emphasis, you know, on a lot of the dishes, but they just really want people to be proud of the roots that they came from, because in New York there's so many people that come from Italian immigrants.
Yeah, and they're usually really proud.
Super proud. But that's a very American thing too, I think, because it's such a melting pot that if you come from like Italian ancestors or like Greek or Albanian, you want to feel like both worlds. But I will say Italian Americans are very, very proud. I do think it has something to do with like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I feel like in the US, usually people see Italy as this beautiful place full of art and history.
I think when people think of Italy, they think of what they see in pictures of like Amalfi.
Yes.
You know, the colored building. People are wearing like high heels and like little scarves, like in the traditional movies.
Do you think the fashion is different?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird because I feel like in Naples the fashion is different from the rest of Italy.
I can't really like point out certain differences. I think that in Naples it's more casual.
I don't know, I think it's different. When I go to Naples, I'm like, oh, they're not following the same fashion as
Like Rome.
Like, yeah.
I think it's a little different. I love Italian fashion because you guys dress like for the season, like perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
And always super nice.
How can you not dress for the season? Like, if it's hot, it's hot. If it's cold, it's cold.
I think because I'm from California, so it's a little bit warmer year round. So people will kind of wear like, say, shorts even as it starts to hit winter. But here, like, you're gonna see someone really nice, like in the coat, pants, and boots.
Well, now you live in New York. In New York, it's also cold.
New York and Italy are very similar in that sense.
Okay, I have another question. Would you live in Italy? Move to Italy for good?
That's a great question. This was something that I really had my eyes set on and I wanted to do so badly. So I definitely would love to live here as long as I could go back home to New York and visit. I would definitely live here. I could definitely see myself living here.
Really?
For sure. Yeah.
Long term?
Yeah, as long as I could learn to speak the language fluently, because I feel like that would be the biggest hurdle, you know, and also learning the political stuff of like medical and like send
that
mail
stuff.
And where would I live? So Sonia knows I love Rome, but I love the ocean too.
Rome is not too far from the sea. A part of Rome is on the sea? Ostia.
Where would I live? I can't really pinpoint it because now that I've been to so many different cities, you know, and I like all of them in such a different way, but I did spend the most time in Naples, so I know that city very well. Honestly, I'd probably pick Rome.
No, Italy is beautiful. It depends
Yeah.
on what you're looking for. If you want a big city, a small city, if you want to be... Yeah, it depends. One last question. You don't have to answer, but what do you think about Italian boys?
Sonia knows. I think Italian boys are so cute. I love them. Especially for me, like, I love the look, and then also they're very fun. So I love that.
And passionate.
And passionate, creative.
Yeah, they put an effort to win you over. And then... No. Grazie Ashley di essere stata qui con me oggi, di avermi dato questi 20 minuti. Ragazzi, se avete qualche domanda, qui lascia il suo Instagram qui sotto in info box. Se volete seguirla, viaggia tantissimo, mi è anche venuta a trovare alle Canarie, quindi è una viaggiatrice solitaria molto figa. Grazie mille, ciao ciao!